So this section is about the repetition loops. And last time we finished until this cumulative product. We learned how to make a program to multiply several numbers with 2. So 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 and so on. And we learned about the mathematical function given by the Java, for example, the maximum and the minimum, square root, power, absolute, okay, and round, floor, and zero. So we learn if it is round, then we are going to round to the nearest integer. It is used to round the decimal number to the nearest value. If you are using floor, then it is used to find the largest integer value, which is less than or equal to the argument, and is equal to the mathematical integer of a double value. So you can just think that if it is floor, it is going down. If it is seal, it is going up. If it is round, then you can go to the nearest integer value. Now we can see another example with a loop using the cumulative sum. If you open your project, you can see the cumulative sum.java. In this cumulative sum, you will see the user input using scanner. And then I would like to define the sum equals to 0. And then I would like to loop using the for loop. So I start with 1 and then I will go until 5. And I would like to I would like to sum for every of the input. So this is the input given by the user. And I need to give only 5 numbers. So if I run, type a number, maybe 3, okay, and then it will be a loop again. Type a number 2, type a number 5, type a number 4, and then for example 1. Then the sum is 15. We have 5 numbers and we wait the user input. So we have 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. So the user can input any numbers and we are making the summation of all the numbers. 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1, it is 15. So this is the code. Okay. Next, I would like to explain one example, what we call as the sentinel value. Sentinel value is a kind of value that you need to input and it will stop when you input that value. For example, keep looping the input positive integer number until the number is negative. So if you input 3, is it positive or negative? Positive. Then you can input the next number. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Then you can input the next number. Positive or negative? Positive. So we can input the next number. Is it positive or negative? Positive. So we can input next number. Is it positive or negative? It is negative. Then stop. And then we want to sum only the integer positive numbers. So how can you make the program? So we have the cumulative sum with sentinel value. We have the user input scanner, and then we define the sum equals to 0, num equals to 0. When num is greater than or equal to 0, so write a number, type a number, and then put the number into the variable num. And then we are going to do the summation. So every number will be added to the variable sum. And then check this one. So this is a loop. Until the number is less than 0, then we will exit from the loop. Now, let's see. If I input 3, okay, and then if I input 4, okay, if I input 2, okay, if I input 1, okay, if I input -5, oh, the summation is 5. Something wrong. What is the mistake? The result should be 10. But now the result is 5. Why? Because we also include the -5. 10 minus 5, it is 5. So how can we improve this problem? Any idea? How can we improve this problem? The sequence is very important. Okay. So if I change this one to here, what happens? So I put 3, 4, 2, 1, -5. Okay. Just changing the order make a different result. Because this is a sequential, the top to bottom. So you can check step by step. Okay. Let's say if you start with num equals to 0, then num equals to 0. Yes, it is true. Then we enter here, type a number. Sum equals to sum plus number. Then sum will be sum is 0 and number is 0. Then it will be 0. Now input number. So we input 3. And then we will check 3 is greater than 0. Yes. Then we print again, type a number. Sum equals to sum plus number. So 0 plus 3, it becomes 3. We are going to get the input from user. Now we input 4. So it becomes 4. 4 is greater than 0? Yes. So type a number and then do the summation. 3 plus 4, it is 7. Now we input again. What is the input? 2. So we enter 2. 2 is greater than 0? Yes. So type a number and then sum plus num. Then 7 plus 2. It is 9. Input from the user. Then we input 1. 1 is greater than 0? Yes, type a number. And then sum equals to sum plus num. Then it becomes 10. Input from user. Okay, the input from user is -5. Then -5 is greater than 0? No. Because it is false, then we exit from the loop and we get this result. Okay. Oh, I can see. So I see the screen here. Oh. I think you need to flip. Okay, so you need to, I don't know. Here I can see all the screen. Okay, next. I would like to have a kind of new problem. So we call this problem is a Fibonacci number. Fibonacci number is a series where each number is the sum of two preceding one, starting from 0 and 1. So what does it mean? I have number 0 and then 1. So this number, it is the addition of 0 plus 1. And then I have 2. How can I get 2? It is 1 plus 1. I have number 3. How can I get 3? It is 1 plus 2. I have number 5. How can I get 5? It is from 2 plus 3. So every two numbers will be added and the result will be printed to the next cell. So how can I get 21? It is from 8 plus 13. Okay. Now, how can I make the Java code? You can see the Fibonacci number. So here I start the numbers. Oh, okay, thank you for your message. So you can see here I have two numbers, F1 and F2. So let's say this is the sequence in the first, which is F1, and the sequence in the second, which is F2. Okay. I will ask the user to input how many Fibonacci numbers do you want to write. So if you have 10, then there will be 10 numbers. If you want to just have 5, then there will be only 5 numbers. So that number will be a loop here. Now, I would like to loop from 1 until num. So num is the input. Okay. So I would like to print F2. F2 is the second number. Okay. So if I have F1, I have F2. Okay. And I would like to print the second one. The next number will be F1 plus F2. So the next will be F1 plus F2. After we have the next number, the F1 will become F2. And the F2 will become next. And then we will check again. Is the number already equals to I? If still less than or equal to I, we again print F2. And then we will do again, next will be equals to F1 plus F2. And then again, F2 will become F1 and the next will become F2. And we will look until how many numbers that we want to print. So here, how many Fibonacci number? Let's say I have 5. Then I will print 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's say I have 8 numbers. So it will print until 8 numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this chapter we learn about loops, and we learn 3 kind of statement: while statement, do while statement, and for loop statement. And yeah, I hope that you can use those kind of loop statements in any problems that you will see in the exam. I have 2 additional problems. Okay, maybe I will just make a quick overview of this problem. Finding the greatest common divisor. Do you know greatest common divisor? Write a program that prompts the user to enter 2 positive integers and finds their greatest common divisor. So the solution is, suppose you enter 2 integers, 4 and 2. 4 and 2. Their greatest common divisor is 2. Why? 4 can be divided by 2. Yes. 2 can be divided by 2. Yes. So the greatest number is 2. Okay. So 4 divided by 2. And 2 can be divided by 2. This is the maximum. That's the meaning by greatest common divisor. Let's suppose I enter 2 integers, 16 and 24. The greatest common divisor is 8. Okay. 16 can be divided by 8. Okay. 24 can be divided by 8. So this is the biggest number. This is the common numbers, and this is the biggest between 16 and 24. So we are going to get the input, which is N1 and N2. And you know, number 1 is a common divisor, but it may not be the greatest common divisor. So 1, yeah, every number can be divided by 1. 4 can be divided by 1. 2 can be divided by 1. But it is not the greatest number. So we need to find the greatest number, and it can be started from 2. So you can see the result. In the greatest common divisor, you're going to get the input. The first input is in the N1, and the second input will be in the N2. Now we will start with the greatest common divisor equals to 1. Every number can be divided by 1. Okay, so I start with 1. But let's do the loop starting from 2. First check if k is less than n1 and k is less than n2. If it is still true, then we can check. If n1 is divided by k, the remainder is 0. And if n2 divided by k and the remainder is 0, so if this one true and this one true, then it is the greatest common divisor. So like 16 can be divided by 8? Yes. 24 can be divided by 8? Yes. The remainder will be 0. The remainder will be 0. Because both of them can be divided by that number, then the greatest common division will be k. Then we will do the k plus plus until k equals to n1 and k equals to n2. So if this condition is false and 1 is true, so if it is false, we will exit the loop. Okay, so you can take a look on this detail. There's a second problem. We are going to predict it is not predicting. We want to predict the future tuition. Suppose I have my tuition fee at P. I want to know the tuition fee this year. And I know that the tuition fee this year is 10,000 US dollars. And the tuition fee increased 7% every year. So how many years will the tuition fee double? Double means 20,000. So until when I get the tuition fee 20,000 US dollars? Of course, the easy one is you can multiply. If the current tuition is 10,000, so in the year 1, yeah, of course it is 10,000. What about in the year 2? In the year 2 is the tuition multiply 1.07. What does it mean? 7%. Of course, we will multiply with 1.07. And then year will be added by 1. And then again, tuition, the new tuition will be multiplied by 1.07. And we will add it with 1. And then the tuition will be multiplied with, again, 1.07. And year will be added by 1. So until when we will do this one? So we want to know until it is double. You can see the future tuition. So we assume that we know the tuition 10,000 and then we have the year equals to 0. Now I would like to do the loop. So if the tuition is still less than 20,000, I will do the tuition multiplied by 1.07. And then year will be added by 1. Until the tuition more than 20,000, then the loop will stop. And once the loop stops, we will print what is the year. Now the tuition will be doubled in 11 years. This is based on the looping here. And Okay, I would like to teach you one more about this printf. In this printf, we are going to print %.2f. So if you still remember, when you want to print only 2 digits, okay, there is a problem in your assignment. Okay, how to print 2 digits? So at the time you will do the multiplication with 100 and then make the number into integer, and then you divide the number with 100 and then you make the number as a double. That is one way. But there is another way. You can just use the very simple printf. We use the %.2f. So dot 2 means I would like to print 2 numbers after the comma. So if you want to print 4 numbers after the comma, yeah, you will get 4 numbers. If you want to get 7 numbers after the comma, you will get 7 numbers. Okay. So this will be the easy way to print the numbers, how many numbers after the comma that you want to print. Okay. That's all about the repetition. Any questions? No question, then I will continue with the next section, which is about methods. Okay. In the methods, I would like to make one new. Okay, there's one. Maybe I will just skip this one. Okay. That the error be this. Yeah, you can just dismiss this one, no problem. I would like to make a new section. So I would like to make a new package, and the package name is section 5. And you can get the code in your e-class. Okay, in the e-class, I already shared one of the zip file, okay, section 05, and then you can open the zip file. Last time I teach you how to open this one. You can use the object pull key, and then you will see all the files here. So you can copy Boxa, and then you can go to Eclipse. Okay, and then in the section 05, you can do the right click on your mouse and then paste. Okay, so paste all the files in the section 05, and yeah, all the Java file will be saved in this folder. And I'm going to use this file for the section methods. Okay. So don't forget to make this section 05. First, you need to make your folder section 05. And after you create your folder section 05, you can open the zip file that I gave to you in the e-class, and then copy all those files into this Eclipse, and you can paste them here. Now let's discuss about method. What is method? We are going to learn static method. So we have static method without hidden values, and we will learn the static method with written values. And at the end, we will learn about the local variables. What does it mean by the local variables? For the first section, I would like to teach you about void. What is the meaning by void? If you check this one, can you see void? Okay, so you see a lot about void, and you also see this one, static. So you see static, void. We are going to learn about this one. What does it mean by that static, and what does it mean by that void? Static method. A method is a collection of statements that are grouped together to perform an operation. So the static method, a named group of statements in a static class. It denotes the structure of a program, and it can eliminate redundancy by code reuse. Let's say I have a class, and then I have a method A, and then I have this statement. I have method B, and then I have those statements, and then I have method C, and then I have those statements. If I want to run again those three statements, I don't need to write three statements. I just call the method A, and then those three statements will be executed. I don't need to write those two statements. I just need to call the method B, and those two statements will be executed. So we can just make one method to group all the statements. We call this is a procedural decomposition. So we can divide a problem into methods. Writing a static method is like adding a new command to Java. So when you are making the static methods, we need to have a design, or you're going to think about an algorithm. We need to look at the structure, and then you need to know what comments that are repeated. And you need to decide what are the important overall tasks. So designing is important. And then after you design, for example, I need to make two methods. Then I need to declare, or you need to make your method. Arrange the statement into group and give each group a name. And after you declare the method, of course, you need to call, or you need to run the methods. If you do not run the methods, of course, it is meaningless. So the program main method, there is one main method. It is to execute your program. It executes the other methods to perform the overall task. Whenever you run your Java, you will run the main method. Whenever you run Java, you will have the public static void main. But now you can make your own method. The method name, it can be anything. If you still remember about the in the first part, we need to define any kind of name And the name in Java, you should start with string. It can be start with the underbar, underline, but you cannot start with number. So this is also valid for the method name. So variable name, method name, yeah, they have the same rule. In order to make the name, okay, you need to define a good name so people can understand what is the meaning by this method. For example, yeah, I make this name as customer name. Then I need to define public. At this moment, let's just make a static void. Static is a static method. Void is a just a method without return value. And when I have a name, you can call the same method many times if you like. So if I have the customer name, then I will call this method from the main method. And if you check on the previous one, it is Mr. Park and then from Korea. We are going to print, and print line. So print, it means in the first line, and then from Korea. It is the same line, but after Mr. Park, and then print line, we will go to the next line. That's why the result is like this one. Let's see. There's one example, method trial. Here is the main method. And in the main method, we need to declare the arguments. So for now, just use this one. And I would like to print, dear customer. Now I have customer name. What does it mean by customer name? If you press Control, okay, in your computer, if you press Control and then if you move your mouse, then you can see something like a thumbs, and then you can press this one and it goes to the method. This is what we call as a method. We have a method customer name, and the customer name is print Mr. Park, comma, and then from Korea, and then print line. After I do the customer name, which is this statement, I will go to the next line. Welcome to USA, print line. Enjoy the trip, print line, and then again, I call the customer name. If you run this, then yeah, it is a kind of message. Dear customer, Mr. Park from Korea, welcome to USA. Enjoy your trip, Mr. Park from Korea. So if I want to call those statements several times, I don't need to write again. I can just use the method and I just call the method name here. Okay. Okay, then let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.